Yes boys, how are we? Guess where I am? I'm outside my new gym. This camera is very heavy. It's insane, but I tell you what, it's heavy and there's nowhere in my car where I can rest it. So we're going to have to keep this intro short and snappy. I'm going to go into my new gym. Old school gyms in Stoke. I went there the other day, but today I'll be training arms and delts in there. I'll show you around the place, I'll show you everywhere. It's got a sick posing room which is going to make for some good content. So I'll give you a little tour of it and I'll take you through my arm and delt session. I actually need to collect a list of all the equipment, brands and everything for my new coach, which I'll be announcing probably in the next video actually, next week. I'm just waiting for all my plans from him and then we will be going ahead doing a full gaining phase with him. He's very good, by the way, very, very good. I always said, well, I've wanted a coach for a while, but I've always said I would only get a coach if I know that I'm going to learn something from them. I'm not going to get a coach if I know that they've got a similar level of knowledge from me. I'm investing money into someone to learn and improve myself, obviously. So it would make sense to obviously go for someone who I know for a fact I'm going to learn from, and I'll learn a lot from him, I think. So I'm very excited for that. I'm going to be competing next year, probably. I say probably, I need to see if I'm actually ready, because I'm not going to step on stage when I haven't got enough muscle. So we need to put some serious size on this year, which is exactly what we're going to do. So we're going to go into the gym now, I'll give you a little tour, and I'll take you through the arm and delt session. So this is the posing room. It's massive, absolutely huge. We've got up there Ryan Terry. I don't know who them two are. Sick, so good. Sick. I'm going to come in here and posing before my shower. So I need to actually go and do my session now because my pre-workout is hitting me, but I need to show you the leg room actually. I need to take note of all the machines. So we'll go and do that. It's pretty busy at the moment actually. Saturday in the middle of the day. And this is very wonky, this camera, so let's go. Right, okay, so we started the session with a lateral raise. Now, a cuff lateral raise in this case. Reason being, I always start with a lateral raise because I want to improve my side delts. They're what give you that wide loop, that V-taper, as well as your lats, and obviously your shoulders, they give that V-taper, so I'm trying to improve my side delts to give that V-taper. Now a lot of people want to grow the shoulders. How do you grow your shoulders? By focusing on your side and your rear delts, not by doing presses, overhead presses. Side and rear delts, put more volume, more work into those, and I promise you, your shoulders will blow up, because my shoulders have always been a weak point, because my chest is obviously so prominent and so strong, it just overpowers my delts. So I've put this in there at the start, when I'm fresh, so I can give it as much energy and effort as possible. Now I'm thinking about raising out into that scapular plane, so 30 degrees forward of the body, rather than directly up to the side, which is going to align that force a little bit better with the side delts. It's also very important for my shoulder, improves your shoulder, well, it doesn't improve your shoulder health, but it will help if you do have a shoulder injury, because for me, if I go directly up to the side, I get clicking. Whereas this, it's a lot more comfortable. And I can just think about leading with my elbows rather than with my hands. I would usually hold a D handle in my hand whilst I'm doing this, but there wasn't any free at the time, so I just clenched my fist and that pretty much did the same thing, to be honest. So I might just do that in the future. These are the warm-up exercises which I do before I do any pressing. So that is a TheraBand which my physio gave me. So basically pushing out against that resistance band is going to activate all those scapular stabilising muscles, your external rotators, so that when I go into our presses, they are then warm and ready to press, basically. Overhead press here, again, same thing. I used to do an overhead press, my elbows really, really flared. Now I've learned how to press properly, tucking them in around 30 degrees again in that scapular plane. Feels a lot more comfortable on my shoulders, and you're actually aligning that force with your front delt, sorry. So if you look at my upper arm, it actually lines up with the direction that your front delt fibers run. So it's going to hit that front delt rather than hitting more of your upper chest. So this felt alright, to be fair. This second back off set, it actually looks quite rushed. I'm not sure why. I changed the tempo up and was going quite fast. I really couldn't tell you. Probably just because it felt light and it felt good, to be honest. But you can see it's still under control, even though the tempo isn't as controlled or as slow as it was on the first set. Staying away from failure as much as I can really. Now obviously I do like training hard, but it is hard for me to stay away from failure. But I didn't go all the way there because at the moment my shoulder, it still isn't 100%, like it does still need improvement in terms of stability. This machine here, the Nautilus preacher curl, absolutely unreal for your biceps, by the way. Absolutely unreal. If you've got this machine in your gym, use it. I promise you, it's insane. So you've got that shoulder in a really flexed position, so you're able to get that bicep really, really short. The contraction at the top is absolutely, it's insane. You can literally feel every fibre in your bicep contracting. And it's going to obviously hit that bicep in the shortened position. So we put that first, and then we move on to this tricep push down with the prime bar. Funny story from actually when I went to that frontline fit, Dr. Jordan Shallows, also known as the Muscle Doc on Instagram. So I was setting up that prime bar in there, and when you take the pin out to move the weight down, obviously, because the bar weighs something, it obviously weighs something, it dropped down on my head, and he's just walking past as that happened, and I had to pick it up off my head obviously. I looked up, I was like, oh shit, I know him. And that was a cool moment. But this is a very, very good exercise. I've got the rope right on the outside because I'm quite a wide boy, so it allows me to basically align that force a lot better. It feels very comfortable, very good contractions. This is a great angle, by the way. Absolutely great cinematography. If you fancy hiring me, then my number's not here, I'm not giving you my number. So this is a hammer curl. I feel like doing a hammer curl after a preacher curl feels a lot better. Having a pump in my bicep and obviously having a bit more fluid around the elbow joints, it feels a lot better for me doing a hammer curl second rather than putting it first when I'm cold. It's just a hammer curl, to be honest. If you want thick arms, hammer curl, mate, it's going to hit your brachialis, which is that muscle that sits underneath your bicep. It's going to make your arms a bit thicker. It's sort of between your bicep and your tricep, so on that outer bit. So if you obviously grow that, that's going to make your arms look wider and thicker, which I need because I'm a long boy. My arms are very long, so I need to fill them out in order to actually make them look big. Here we've got tricep overhead push. No, a tricep overhead extension. That's just basically to hit the tricep in a more lengthened position and also to target that long head, because when you've got your arm, your shoulder flexed, that's going to hit more of the long head, which is actually the biggest part of your tricep. So you're going to want to hit that quite regularly. All you need in your tricep exercises is a push down and an overhead extension, and you're covered. This is a face away cable curl. Now you can see at the start, before I started this set right, I adjusted my arm to make sure it was slightly behind my body. That means that it's going to hit the long head of the bicep more because the arm is positioned slightly behind your torso, and as you can see, I keep it fixed. Even when the reps start to get hard, that upper arm, it stays fixed in place. And then we finish with a rear delt fly. Now you can see I've got the cables set up slightly higher. Usually people would put them directly in line with your shoulder. Now your rear delt fly is actually run at sort of a 45-degree angle, so if you set that cable a little bit higher, that's going to align that force with your rear delts a lot better, and the contraction at the bottom is insane. As you can see here as well, my arm stays fixed, it stays straight. I don't let it bend, which is basically going to make it easier for yourself. I keep it fixed, even when the reps get hard again. So that was the session, very good session. I do enjoy that, to be fair. I enjoy the arm pump, it makes you feel like you're absolutely huge. But next week, like I said at the start of the video, I will be starting with my coach. So I'm just waiting on the training program, nutrition, everything, all the plans for him to send them across to me. I think he said early next week. So I'm just waiting on them, and then we will start the bulk properly. And I'm gonna aim to upload twice a week on here. One episode, it's not a fucking TV channel. It's a YouTube channel. One video will be more educational, and then I'll aim to have the second video to be more based around me. So you can follow the journey, follow the bulk, and see how it goes. So we're going to get absolutely massive. I'm aiming to compete next year. Now obviously I need enough muscle to do that, so I'm not going to step on stage if I haven't got enough muscle, but obviously that's the whole reason we're doing this. When I had the consult call with the coach, he said, well, I'm not going to go into that actually. I'm not going to go into that. I'll go into that next week when I actually announce it. I would have never tried that gym had I not. Obviously, I haven't been banned from Strength Asylum, but I've decided to leave. And although it's not ideal in terms of the first month because I'm having to pay 2 gym memberships. To be fair, like if I'm being totally honest, I can understand why Strength Asylum banned tripods, because it's not the biggest gym. It's quite a big gym, but it's not the biggest, and the machines are quite crammed together. So like if you've got a big tripod, like at the moment I'm using my Gorilla Pod, and that's the one I used to take into the gym because I know that the normal tripods, they do take up quite a bit of space. It's not that they're a trip hazard, because they are that big to the point where you're going to see it. Like, you're not going to trip over it because you'll see it, unless you're a fucking idiot. But I'd say mine that I was using, the small Gorilla Pod, is more of a trip hazard because you're less likely to see that. Like, a lot of people don't actually notice that I'm recording because I do it on the Gorilla Pod. But this new tripod that I've got, I should have took it into Strength Asylum and set it up on the maximum height, because mate, it's huge. In fact, I'm going to show you. This is a trip hazard. This is a trip hazard. Bear in mind, I'm 6'1". I'm 6'1", and this comes up to where my nose. It's huge. It's absolutely massive. It's expensive, but it's worth it. I'm not obviously going to set it up on that setting. You can obviously adjust the legs so it goes at different heights, but if I'd have took that into the gym, I'd understand if you said it was a trip hazard. But the tripod which I'm using now, it's not really in the way, to be honest. So they shot themselves in the foot, I think, personally, because the reason that they are as big as they are is because of people recording in there. Trained by JP, Eddie Hall. They're okay to film in there. What? Because they've got millions of followers. But what? If you haven't got millions of followers, you're not allowed to record, apparently. So their loss, I suppose. Their loss. That is going to be all for today's video, people. Hopefully you are enjoying the consistency. I said, didn't I? I said, once I'm not injured again, I can train properly. I'm going to be fucking consistent. I'm going to be on the ball. And I've been exactly that. So you've got to appreciate it by clicking the like button, hitting subscribe. Can we get to 1,000 followers? You don't have followers on here, do you? You have subscribers. 1,000 subscribers. That would be great, by the way. That will be great. They always say the first 1,000 is the hardest to get. So once we get past that 1,000 mark,